Hey guys, I had to fix the audio on this Zoom, and it sounded like I was in a fish tank talking. I don't know. Anyway, I had an experience the other day. It's a really long one. It's two parts, so I'm gonna make them separate just to keep the video short. I'll put part one and part two. You can watch it. The first part is this. I lay down to sleep, and I thought I heard Jesus Christ talking to me, but it wasn't Jesus Christ. It was Demetri. Demetri is a guy I knew when I was dead. I don't know who he is now, but they told me last year that I knew him when I was dead. He's an old buddy. And we're both in the Legion together. And that's where I am now, in the Legion, in the Astral. My soul is in the Legion, living there in the Astral plane. The illusion. There's a Legion in St. Lucian, and then there's a Legion in the illusion, which is the astral plane. Anything goes, astral plane. All right. So Demetri, I know him. He comes and talks to me and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to Land of the Lakes. Do you want to come with me?" And I'm like, "Sure, man. Hook me up. We'll go to the Land of the Lakes." And I'm like, "What the hell's the Land of the Lakes?" And he goes, it's an island. And it's in the lakes. And he goes, "No, it's in the ocean." And I go, "Why the hell do they call it the Land of the Lakes?" And he goes, "I think it's because of a tourist thing." But anyway, that's what they call it, Land of Lakes, but it's in the ocean. And I go, "Do they got birds there?" And he goes, "Yeah, bring your camera. You want to bring your camera." And I'm like, "Okay," in the astral plane and not in reality here. So he goes, "Okay, tomorrow at noon when you go to sleep at your mom's house, I'll come pick you up. We'll go to the Land of the Lakes and hang out." He goes, "I gotta do something there." I think he lives there or has apartments there and he's over there taking care of business. And you want to know if I was gonna go with him? I said, "Yeah, I'd love to. We'll make a day of it." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So we I go to my mom's house at noon, eat lunch, fall asleep because I can't sleep here in my apartment. So I go to my mom's house to sleep during the day and I fall asleep. And Dimitri's there. He's like, "You ready to go?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Soon as you appear here, soon as you're here, we'll go." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "By the way, you know what that means is as soon as I appear here, it means I'm in my body right now. My soul is in my body. So when I appear in the Legion, I appear on a bed. Bing. And he grabs me and we astral travel together. Anyway, that's what that means. That's how it works. He goes to me, he goes, "Regis is coming." I'm like, "Cool." Regis is a Jesus Christ, but Regis just got his Jesus Christ. He's my buddy when he was Regis, but now he's Jesus Christ. He he was a Jesus Christ, he lost his Jesus Christ, and he became a Jesus Christ. So I gotta call him Jesus now, but I don't. For your sake, I'm calling him Regis, and for my sake, but I know he's a Jesus Christ. Just like I lost my Jesus Christ status, I'm not called Jesus Christ in the soul level anymore. I'm just Richard. But same thing happened to him. He lost it and he's Jesus Christ again. So anyway, Regis, Jesus is coming with us. I'm like, cool, whatever. He goes, okay. So when you fall asleep, which is about 5-10 minutes, we'll grab you and we'll go. I'm like, okay. So eventually I fall asleep, totally gone. I'm unconscious. And my soul appears to them. I wake up in the Legion, in the Astral. Hey guys, I'm ready to go. So what happened was Regis, my buddy, being a Jesus Christ, hooks up to me, puts me in a manger. It's not really the manger, but it's something like that. And we're flying. We go. I wake up. My consciousness wakes up on a beach. I wake up on a beach. I'm standing on the shoreline, and my feet are sinking, not stinking. They always stink, but my feet sink into the sand, and I'm like, holy fuck! I'm standing on a shoreline, and it's a huge shoreline, and Regis is there, and Demetri's there, and I'm like, fuck, this is cool, man. This is cool, and I'm thinking, I gotta tell everybody back. I gotta tell you guys about this because I'm here. And the waves are washing up on the shore, on the beach, and you know how it's all white, bubbly, and they recede down. Well, it's hitting my legs and splashing up, and it's like I'm standing on a real beach. And I looked down at the sand when the water was away. I looked down at the sand, and it's got shells and sand. Like the shells are on top, broken up pieces of shells, and the sand is on the bottom. And I saw seaweed, chunks of seaweed on the beach, and everything was really. But the only part was I couldn't smell. I had the essence, some of it, the essence of a beach, wait, spiritual essence. I had some of it, but I knew I was in with Jesus Christ energy, so that took away from it a little bit, the whole experience. But visually, I'm seeing it clear. And all of a sudden, I had my camera around my chest, the Nikon I have here. I brought me one with me, and there's these shorebirds, thousands of shorebirds on the shore ahead of me, and they took off in a big flock. You know how they do that? They're on the beach and they'll fly up and they'll swirl around and they'll land on the beach further down. Well, they flew up, and so I started walking to them, and I'm looking at all the critters and everything. Just when I got closer to the birds, they all took off again, and I snapped some pictures. And they were like seagulls, but smaller than seagulls, sort of like a curlew or something. And they had black wings, black on their head, and a white body, and yellow legs. And they weren't proper seagulls. They were something else, sort of like a curlew. Anyway, I was I was like totally fucking fascinated. I took some shots of that, and I'm looking for crabs and critters that wash up on the shore. I'm looking for them, and I think I was having a time of my life just looking at the bugs, and I knew I was in Land of Lakes, or Land Between the Lakes. It was called Land Between the Lakes. Anyway, I'm having a time of my life with the critters and everything. The little crabs. They had proper crabs and bugs, sea things, when you're walking on a beach in the ocean. Anyway, and I'm looking for birds, more species of birds and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, he, they're like, we gotta get out of here. He goes, okay, hey, they go something like this. we're gonna go somewhere else now. I could feel they were bored of me playing with the critters and the birds and taking pictures. I spent like 15 minutes on the beach, and I'm thinking I gotta tell everybody when I get back. I gotta tell all my friends when I get back. Make a video of it, and that blew me away. So anyway, next thing I know, I'm standing in a street, and it's a little town, and there's houses and apartment buildings, and they're all like 1970s, 2-lane road, and it was people live in these buildings, right? So we're walking, and all of a sudden, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've been here before. And he goes, yeah, you used to live here. And I know what the areas are. He goes, you used to live here. Demetri said, and Regis, and they said, you lived here for a while, so you know the area. That's why we brought you here, brought you back. And Demetri owned the apartment building, one of these apartment buildings that he came to do business with for the day or for collect rent. I don't know, something like that. Do repairs or something. And so we're all walking down the street, and we come to the end of the street, and there's a road in front of me, and there's a cliff straight down. I'm about 3 stories high on this cliff, maybe 4. It's a big cliff. And I run up to the fence, and I look over the fence, and next to me is a bar, a touristy bar, like one of them bars with the palm trees and the drinks with the umbrellas. And there are people sitting on this huge patio with tables and umbrellas on the table, and they had the fancy ass sweet drinks with the umbrella in them, and they're sitting there and they're just relaxing, right? And I'm like, holy fuck, I know that bar. And he goes, yeah. And you've been here before. So I ran up to the cliff, which was a fence off because there's a cliff there. And I looked down, and I see what seems to be like a boardwalk made out of wood, but it's a parking lot. And I seen train tracks, and I followed the train tracks, and there are trolley cars, like buses, trolley cars. And the trolley cars were coming out on the tracks and going down the road down below. There's a road down below, and they were coming out of this wooden parking lot. Further beyond the wooden parking lot is a road, proper road, and this big hoop-de-doo thing going on over there. As I look out towards the horizon, I see a huge Ferris wheel, and it's rotating around. It's huge, huge. It's as high as a cliff. And I'm like, holy fuck, it's a Ferris wheel. And he goes, there's a fairgrounds over there, an amusement park or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit. And the roller coasters, it's sort of like Cedar Point, and not on the horizon, but far, about a mile away. And I'm like, look at all that shit over there. He goes, yeah. And all of a sudden, I see Winnebago's coming out with trailers, 2 or 3 of them, and they all had a trailer with a race car on the back, and it was right there on the boardwalk, like on the other side of the boardwalk, or not the board, yeah, boardwalk. And I go, are those race cars? And he goes, yeah, they just got done racing. It's over now, and they're leaving. And I'm like, and it was like Indianapolis 500 race cars. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a racer car guy. I like cars, but I don't know. I don't know. And I go, those are race cars like Indianapolis 500? And he goes, yep. And he goes, I'm like, holy shit. And the race is over. And he goes, see those lights out there? That's the racetrack. It's huge. It's like Indianapolis 500, Demetri said. But the race is over and all the tourists left. All the race car people that came to see the races were gone. And the cars were packing up and leaving. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm seeing trolley cars go out onto the road. Then I'm standing on the cliff and I see a fire truck, a huge one of hook and ladder fucking trucks. It wasn't a double where they got the trailer and the guy rides it on the back or steers it from the back. It was a long ladder truck. Anyway, it's slowly pulling out on with where the trolleys were, but it's on the boardwalk. And all of a sudden, I'm looking down at the fire truck. I'm like, fucking fire truck. And all of a sudden it crashed. It fell through the wood. Its front end went through the wood and crashed like a few feet or something on the boardwalk. And I'm like, fucking crashed. All of a sudden this girl, she gets out of the cab and she's a black girl dressed in, she's got her hat on, her fireman's hat. She got her fire coat on. And Regis screams down at her, goes, hey, you guys all right down there? And she looked up, she goes, yeah, we're all right. Thanks. We're all right. And he goes, oh, I was just checking, making sure everything's all right. And she goes, yeah, we're in training. And I fucking failed because I fell through the wood or something and screwed up the fire truck. And he goes, okay, well, as long as you're all right. And so other firemen get out and they're looking around. They're looking at the front end of the truck. Well, the front left steering tire fell through the wood, and the truck was like. Anyway, I'm like, holy shit! Look at all that! Look at all this, man! And then I turned. We went up, followed the railing up onto the bar on top of the cliff, and I'm looking down, and there's trolley cars, like lines of trolley cars, all on tracks. And there's one was slowly pulling out, switching tracks and going on to the other ones. And I thought that was cool to see all the trolley cars. And they were all empty. There was no people around. But one of the trolley cars was pulling out, sort of like a bus depot. Anyway, I thought that was cool. And I could see the ocean way out, way out there. And over here was a little mountain with covered in trees. And that's what I'm seeing. That like I'm sitting in my living room or sitting right here in my living room in my apartment. It was that fucking real, guys. Then I looked over at Demetri and Regis and I go, man, I gotta tell everybody back home. I gotta make a video back home. And I knew I was because they set it up beforehand. They said you're going to the Land of Lakes, and it all worked out perfect. And he goes, and the three other guys were there. So there was like five other guys, all my age. We're all hanging out and talking. And they're looking at me and they're like, and I was telling them, I'm like, fuck, it's so cool, man. Like I have pictures and everything. And I gotta tell everybody when I get back, it's so cool. And they're all looking at me like they can't believe it. And they started laughing. And I started laughing. And I went, what the fuck are you laughing about? What's so funny? He goes, don't worry about them guys. They just can't believe that you're in the body and you're seeing this. And you want to tell everybody when you get back to your reality. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah. And he goes, they can't believe that. because they know people on the earth, but they can't do what you're doing to the extent of you're doing it. And I'm like, holy shit, is that right? And he goes, yeah. And that's why they're laughing. That's why they're freaking out on you. Anyway, so I go, okay. He goes, well, we gotta go. It's time for us to go. All right. So how are we getting back? And he goes, we're gonna astral travel. He goes, we're traveling, not by car or anything. We're gonna astral travel back. And all of a sudden, Demetri goes, you ready to go? Yep. I should have had my camera out, but I didn't. We start flying up. We go up, and this is what it's like. You know when you're on Google Earth Street View, and you pan out and you leave the street and you go over top of the street and you zoom out and the street disappears and you see the whole city, you see the ocean, the whole town, the ocean, wherever you are. That's what I'm seeing. I'm rising up. I'm going up above it. And we're still flying over the land. We're up 20,000 feet or more. And I can start to see the curvature of the earth or whatever the hell reality in St. Lucian reality. And we start flying back. And as we start flying back, everything on the land mass went blurry. It just went like a blur because we're moving so fast, and my eyesight couldn't catch it all, I guess. I don't know. Next thing I know, I slow down and I wake up in my body, but I'm still in spirit, and I'm in the Legion where I left. In the Legion Illusion, not Legion Saint Illusion, Legion Illusion. And I started talking to Regis. And I'm going, hey, Regis. And he goes, yeah. And I go, is that place we were at? Is it in St. Lucian? He goes, it's in a different region. St. Lucian is in a different region. So picture like St. Lucian is Kentucky. And there's 8 states that make up St. Lucian. And each one of these, there's St. Lucian where I live with the Legion right now. And that's in like Kentucky. And then there's 7 more regions, 7 more states around it, but they're called regions. And it's a big fucking landmass. 45, 48 million people live there in these 8 regions called St. Lucian. So you know how big it is. And they took me to Land Between the Lakes. That was my trip from Land Between the Lakes. I just want to tell you what you can do in spirit with the right people on your side. Now, the thing was, when Regis came along, and I don't know why he came along, but whatever. He was Christ, and I was hooked up to Christ. So Christ was like, we went to Land of the Lakes, but I'm with Christ, and he's more or less controlling me so I see everything. I'm seeing proper. I'm seeing everything proper. And not in dream space. I'm actually there. But the thing that got me, and I asked Regis about this, was I knew I knew the whole process. I was in Land Between the Lakes, excited about the beach, excited about the birds, and I wanted to tell, excited about the stock cars and the amusement park and the blue sky and the trees. And I wanted to tell you guys. And I mentioned to the guys that were there, man, they're going to flip out when I tell them about this. This is so cool. And I'd never done that before. I never knew Like I knew in a way, but not really. Like when I go by myself and I'm in St. Lucian proper, I'm not aware that I have to tell you guys the story. You know what I mean? I usually get done my experience and I wake up in bed and go, holy fuck, that was in St. Lucian. I got to tell the guys on the YouTube. But this time I knew when I was there, I got to tell you guys. So I was excited to come back and make this video. That's the difference. That was the difference between being with Christ or just myself. He brought my mental awareness with me. So I was more, I had my mental awareness with me because I knew I was going to bed. We were traveling to St. Lucian or Land Between the Lakes, and I came back. I watched the process of coming back and flying back, and everything went blurry. We rose up like we're on Google Street View from Google Street View, but it was actually a normal view. But we left, it was like Google Street View, leaving, coming up in the air on Google Earth, and traveling back to the Legion, where I woke up in my body and I'm talking to Christ about this experience. And he said, yeah. He goes, I brought your mental awareness with you. That's why I came, so you could bring the mental awareness with you. I'm like, holy fuck. So I knew in my brain I was insane, laying between the lakes. It was a totally different experience. Totally different. Because I knew I was there. And when I got back, well, the weird thing was when I got back to my body, I was a, you know, when you're at your soul is at a different place and you get back and you're all fucking, oh fuck, I'm here in this world. I'm here, I'm back in this world. And you're like all depressed because you got nothing to do and your life sucks. That's what it was like. That's what it was like. I woke up on my mom's and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm back here again. Damn. That's the instinct I felt. Crazy. And so it takes a little bit of adjusting because you're so high and light walking on St. Lucian, walking on the beach in St. Lucian, then you instantly come back to your body and you wake up in your body. You're like, oh, fuck, I'm here again. Damn. Crazy experience. Now there's a part two to this. I'll make it in a separate video. Depends on how long I can last here. The only reason I'm making this video now is because the air conditioner is off for some reason. I don't know why. I got a lot of videos to make. Over the past 3-4 months, I don't know, let me show you. I got, can you see this? I guess you can't. Anyway, I've been talking in the audio about my experiences, recording them as they happen so I don't forget them for you guys. And I got like 50. So I got another 50 videos coming. I don't know when I can make them. I can't sleep in this apartment, let alone make a video. But I'm making one now because I got time and I got nothing to do. It's Sunday. Maybe he's out getting drunk or passed out in a party somewhere. And the air conditioner's off. Anyway, guys, get ready for part two. There's part two to it because it involves my verbal abuse on Christ for reasons you don't fucking believe. But it'll clear up a lot for you. From the experience I had, it's going to clear up a lot for you about stuff. Just hang in there. I don't want to start talking about it or I'll never stop. Okay. Land Between the Lakes. If you ever get to go, if you're with Christ, tell him, take me to the land between the lakes. Oh, and One more thing. He goes, where do you want to go next week? And I go, Baffin Island. And he goes, what the hell's in Baffin Island? And I go, nothing. That's why I want to go. There's birds, there's polar bears, there's Arctic foxes. I want to go. He goes, anything you want to see there? And I go, well, I want to know about the history of it from the fucking ancient times. What happened? The sailing ships, the Vikings. Did anybody make it there? Were the Anunnaki there? You know, building pyramids and shit, lost items, lost old things in the ocean around that area. He goes, okay, I'll look into it. I'll see what you can get. And I got some more to tell you about what me and Regis are getting into. Because he's my buddy, but he is gay. That means I'm gay. No, don't. I'm not gay. Which is the next video. It's fucked. It was a hard day. I almost lost Regis. But I didn't. We're buddies. We're all cool. And I'll tell you all about it later. Okay. Bye, guys.